Hey guys, it's Will. So Redwire stock is down 12% loss today. And here's the thing about Redwire is you can find the right stock and you can even have the best entry. We had really good entries on the stock down around $4 up to 15 and we hold it long term. But even if you miss one key update, an earnings shift, capital rotations, or an institutional move, that trade could be gone. And most investors don't lose because they're not smart or not intelligent, but a lot of times it's because the analysis is slow. And that's the difference between guessing and operating with a system. So, friendly reminder, today at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, I'm revealing exactly how we automate institutional grade analysis inside of Prophecy. So you'll see how we catch important updates before they become headlines, how the system eliminates hesitation, and how you can get a full macro to micro breakdown in seconds. So I was just looking at Stockmate this morning. We're using this as well inside of Prophecy. It keeps us from overpaying for stocks. There's no spreadsheets. It's not like I have 12 tabs open. It's one tab. It's all in one place, and it helps me eliminate guessing. So if you want early access before we open it publicly, once again, hit the first link in the description below. And at 4:30 p.m., it'll all make sense. So let's jump into Redwire. I'm actually going to pull it up here. I'm going to search them. We got some recent defense companies, all defense companies seeing some sell-offs as of recently. We'll pull up Redwire and we'll get some analysis from Grok, OpenAI, Claude, and Gemini. But alongside those analysis that we get, let's kind of take a look here at what's really going on inside the technicals. So things fundamentally with Redwire have looked really, really great. If you were to look, at the fundamentals, meaning the news and their contracts and what they're building, they've been acquiring companies in defense. They actually had revenue pretty similar to that of Rocket Lab as they came in with revenue of over $100 million in the last quarter. They're doing space exploration, and on top of that, they just signed a new deal that was over $150 billion contract that they are a part of. And if you look at their newsroom, so they got the space tech, they've got a new factory they recently opened up. They got some deals with NASA, and then recently this $151 billion multi-vendor Shield IDIQ contract to support Homeland Defense. And that includes not just the Homeland Security or Homeland Defense, it's the Golden Dome. It's the focus on the missile defense, on the mission, Department of War, things like that. So you're multi-domain. You also have the focus on maneuverable spacecrafts, agent-based modeling and simulation. So they're even using some AI as well. And they support NASA in many instances. And this isn't the first time we've seen them get a large contract as a part of the 151 billion. So that looks good. 151 billion. We also had another one that was 2.7 billion or something like that. Let me see if I could pull it up. It was the iSpace contract. See if this is the right one here. There it is. Redwire and iSpace signed to $2.6 billion through 2028, and Redwire is one of the contractors there. So, that right there, they're exposed to about $154 billion. And their current market cap, this is where the financials come up, and this is where it's getting pretty interesting, is their current financials, they're only at 1.3 billion. So 1.3 billion, they are looking undervalued when you factor in the Golden Dome contracts, and they surged big time after that deal. And their revenue has increased 50% year over year. And their balance sheet is up to over $1 billion in equity. So in equity, meaning the cash they have, their assets less their liabilities, they have over $1 billion. And then they have 100 million a quarter. Negative net income, yes, but they're looking pretty good for just a $1.3 billion market cap. Other companies with comparable financials are between 20 billion to 50 billion. Or if you look at Rocket Lab, they're kind of in that range as well. Not wanting to compare to companies trading at a premium, but just in general, there's this book, I have it somewhere around here. It's talking about how it's from Benjamin Graham, the mentor of Warren Buffett. Market caps that are lower than their total assets or their equity with their revenues on the year, those are usually pretty good deals. So the PE ratio is looking good as well. And this is where it gets interesting. So getting back into the technicals, this is where they're having some downward momentum. Very aggressive sell down from that huge day they had back here. We actually caught a large portion of this back on January 26th. We saw them surge to $15 and then sell down pretty aggressively. They're now trying to hold this $8 range. Now, this is a key level, but ultimately, if they don't hold this here, there are some new levels to watch. For example, down here around 650 and into the $6 range. But right now they're using this previous resistance and support, and around this support level around 750 to $8 a share. And they are selling down. You can see once again making lower lows over the last month or 2 weeks, let's say 3 weeks. However, let's see if they double bottom. Let's see if we get any consolidation. While the trend is obviously down in the near term, here you see this trend, so they're selling down. There is also the ability for them to potentially start to consolidate something like this. This is oftentimes what they do when they make reversals. We've seen this time and time again. They sell down, and they start to consolidate a little bit left to right. And then maybe we see them bounce up into this range here on the technical side, back to that moving average, but also back to around $10 a share would be a 27% increase. So the near term, you're seeing these potential moves. Last time we saw them sell down, so they were in a very consistent uptrend. But last time we saw them sell down, it was pretty similar. And this is called a 3-stage reversal. It oftentimes happens when stocks just go from one trend to another. You have the very consistent, trend. This is a downtrend. And then you have it turn into what is more of a consolidation, meaning like a left to right movement. When you get the third stage, it's going to be a reversal in the opposite direction. So this applies on a bearish trend shifting to a bullish trend, or a bullish trend shifting to a bearish trend, that you see them start to push back above. So they were holding below, for example, the moving average. They then pushed back up in December, and then were able to find a new trend and validate that old resistance they consolidated in as a support, and then continue this trend here very consistently, right? And that was for about a month there into these levels, and we see them start to build. They really rocketed. Their greater trend started to become very bullish, and this is pretty technical, and I'm drawing a lot of lines here, so hopefully this doesn't look too overwhelming. But essentially, you get them correcting back down. You get them correcting back down from here, selling down, breaking that pattern, and then now potentially in the greater trend finding support. But right now they are seeing downward pressure, and potentially looking to find a support level around this $8 price point, right? So they find an $8 support level, great. Otherwise, this is kind of the trend they're in. Once again, they sell down further. You're looking at potentially a sell down into, what is that? $6 a share, something like this, something like that. It's not pretty. Don't really want to see that. That's a very steep trend. That would be very conservative that they sell down 25% and just absolutely break down. But with their financials and their momentum that they have now, and the RSI looking overbought, MACD looking very oversold as well, you can see those here. And then along with their fundamentals, things looking pretty good. I talked with this company at a conference, and I really liked what they do, and it seemed that they were on the right track. The only thing I would say is the Glassdoor reviews were not very good on this company. People working at the company, I don't know what that is about. It's the only thing that I've seen negative about them is some people said they don't like to work there. But their financials look really good. Their contracts have been really good. Even the technicals looking a little oversold. If they can hold this $7 or $8 range here, they're looking really bullish. And then potentially, if you just go back, it's volatile. They got a lot of volatility here. And they got to be transparent as well, right? Because look at that volatility up to 26, back down to $7. Some people would say, well, I see the contract that you're mentioning on the newsroom here, 151 billion. But what are they really getting out of that? What if they're only getting 100 million out of that 150 billion? And that would be a concern. That could be a concern because they weren't fully transparent on how much of the 151 billion dollars, that's the ceiling value. And they're one of the companies involved. They're not the main company and only the main company. They're one of the companies. And so are they going to see a full 151 billion? Highly unlikely. Very, very unlikely. What if they only see a couple million or even couple 100,000? That's just a huge contract they're getting a piece of. That's also very unlikely. In fact, they've already proven that they can handle large contracts, and they've already shown in their financials that they can come in, with over $100 million in a quarter, which if you look at like one of the leading and top competitors of any SpaceX, let's say, or space tech companies, you're going to be looking at RKLB. Their best quarter, they came in with over 155 million. That's only about $50 million more than Redwire. And Redwire, they came in at $1 billion in market cap, whereas Rocket Lab's at 35 billion. So you see, really, the financials look excellent over on Redwire. But this big pullback today, they're down about 14%. It's not the first time we've seen really good fundamentals after a nice surge, and that they've continued to sell down. I remember it was back in 2025, somewhere here. Let me see if I can pull it up. 2025, they had sold up here. Oh, it was here. They were on a really good trend from $6 up to about $17 a share. When they made this run, they were still selling down despite getting new deals. Despite getting new deals, they were selling down. And then they sold off on earnings. Even though they had good earnings, they're selling down from all the way down to 487 before recovering back up to 15. So just to note, very long-term and also in this level, it's okay if they stabilize around $9, $10. That's actually what we'd like to see. So once again, very interesting. A lot of bearish downward pressure, very, very heavy downward pressure. But can they hold around these levels, or are they going to just break down? This is the key, is to know if you're long-term, you're probably not stressing anything. If you're short-term, just have a plan, as you're going to want to manage risk in the event that it does sell down more. And I appreciate you all. And once again, if you want to join us for that live breakdown later today, you can find it in the first link below. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you there on the live video.